For 66 years, one name was synonymous with the power of Egypt. A pharaoh who ruled so long, he outlived 12 of his own sons. He was Ramesses II, known to history as Ramesses the Great. A warrior, a diplomat, and the most prolific builder in Egyptian history. His story begins not on a throne, but in the shadow of his powerful father, Pharaoh Seti I. Seti I was a restorer, bringing stability back to Egypt after a period of turmoil. He groomed his son for greatness from an early age. By age 14, Ramesses was a captain in the army. By 22, he was leading his own campaigns, learning the art of war firsthand. When Seti I died in 1279 BC, Ramesses ascended to the throne. He inherited a prosperous kingdom, but also a formidable rival. To the north, in modern-day Turkey, lay the Hittite Empire. A military powerhouse, they were Egypt's equal and chief competitor for regional dominance. The flashpoint was a strategic city-state called Kadesh, a vital trade hub that controlled the routes between the two empires. In the 5th year of his reign, Ramesses mounted a campaign to settle the matter. He mustered a large army, estimated at 20,000 strong, divided into 4 divisions. Each division was named after a god: Amun, Ra, Ptah, and Set. They marched north, a display of Egyptian might aimed directly at the Hittites. But the Hittite king, Muwatalli II, was a shrewd strategist. He had gathered a large force, drawing soldiers from across his vast empire, which some historians believe outnumbered the Egyptians. Muwatalli's strategy relied not on a direct confrontation, but on a clever plan. He set a trap intended to shatter the pharaoh's army. As Ramesses neared Kadesh, his scouts captured 2 local tribesmen. They had a story to tell, one that would prove dangerously misleading. They claimed the Hittite army was terrified of the Egyptians and had retreated far to the north. It was a calculated lie. Acting on this report, Ramesses pushed ahead with only 1 division, the Amun, leaving the others dangerously far behind. In reality, the entire Hittite army, with over 2,500 chariots, was hiding just behind the city of Kadesh, waiting for the perfect moment to strike. As Ramesses set up his camp, his patrols captured 2 more men, Hittite spies. Under interrogation, the terrible truth was revealed. The Hittite army was not in the north. They were right there, poised to attack his scattered and unprepared forces. The trap had been sprung. Before Ramesses could react, the Hittite chariots thundered from their hiding place. They crashed into the side of the 2nd Egyptian division, the Ra. The Ra division, caught completely by surprise while on the march, disintegrated. Survivors fled in disarray towards Ramesses's camp. The wave of fleeing soldiers and pursuing Hittites then slammed into the pharaoh's own camp, quickly overrunning its defenses. Ramesses was surrounded, cut off from the rest of his army. His elite bodyguard was all that stood between him and total disaster. According to Egyptian accounts, this was his defining moment. Instead of fleeing, the young pharaoh prayed to the god Amun and prepared to fight. He put on his armor, mounted his chariot, and, according to the inscriptions, charged into the enemy ranks to rally his broken men. The Egyptian inscriptions describe him as a god of war, single-handedly pushing back the Hittite tide. The reality was likely more complex. His personal bravery is said to have inspired his troops, but his salvation came from an unexpected direction. The Hittite charioteers, seeing the camp undefended, stopped to plunder it. This tactical error gave Ramesses a crucial opening. Just then, a separate Egyptian force, the Nearin, arrived on the battlefield. They were not part of the main army and their arrival was a complete surprise. This relief force smashed into the flank of the disorganized Hittites, decisively turning the tide of the battle. Now it was the Hittites who were trapped, caught between Ramesses's rallied forces and the fresh troops. Many were driven into the Orontes River. By evening, the battlefield was a stalemate. Both sides had suffered heavy losses. Ramesses had survived, but Kadesh remained in Hittite hands. Militarily, the battle was a draw. Ramesses had narrowly avoided annihilation and inflicted serious damage, but he failed to capture his objective. But in the world of pharaohs, perception is reality. Ramesses returned to Egypt and declared the Battle of Kadesh a stunning, unparalleled victory. He commissioned epic poems and massive reliefs on temple walls across the land, all telling the story of his personal heroism. These accounts, like the famous Poem of Pentor, became the official history, cementing his image as Egypt's greatest warrior king. This was perhaps his greatest skill, not just winning battles, but winning the narrative. He was a master of royal propaganda. Despite the propaganda, the war with the Hittites dragged on for another 15 years, a costly struggle with no clear winner. Eventually, the long conflict exhausted both empires. A new threat, the rising power of Assyria, also pushed them towards an unprecedented solution. In 1259 BC, Ramesses and the new Hittite king, Hattusili III, agreed to end the war. They didn't just agree to a truce, they forged an alliance. The result was the Treaty of Kadesh, the world's earliest surviving peace treaty. It promised eternal peace and mutual defense. A copy was inscribed in silver and sent to Egypt, where Ramesses had it carved onto the walls of his temples for all to see. To seal the pact, Ramesses married a Hittite princess, making his former enemies his family. The warrior had become a diplomat. With peace secured, Ramesses began a period of monumental building, transforming the face of Egypt on a scale never seen before. He built a new capital in the Nile Delta, Pi Ramesses, a magnificent city said to be filled with parks, palaces, and temples. He completed the great hypostyle hall at Karnak, a breathtaking forest of 134 massive columns that still stands today. He built his own mortuary temple, the Ramesseum, guarded by a colossal statue of himself so large it was known as the Colossus of Ozymandias. But his most famous project lies far to the south, in Nubia. The twin temples of Abu Simbel, carved directly out of a mountainside. The larger temple was dedicated to him as a living god. The smaller one was for his beloved great royal wife, Nefertari. Nefertari was his most important queen, and the inscription suggested deep and genuine affection between them. Her tomb in the Valley of the Queens is considered one of the most beautiful ever discovered, a testament to his love for her. Ramesses had many wives and is thought to have fathered more than 90 children, ensuring the royal line for generations. He reigned for an astonishing 66 years and 2 months, one of the longest reigns of any monarch in history. He became a living legend, a figure from a distant golden age even to the Egyptians who came after him. When he finally died around the age of 90, he was buried in the Valley of the Kings. But his journey was not over. Due to looting, his mummy was moved several times by ancient priests to protect it, its location eventually becoming lost to time. It was only rediscovered in 1881, hidden in a secret cache with the mummies of more than 40 other pharaohs and royals. Today, we can look upon the actual face of the man who fought the Hittites and built Abu Simbel over 3,000 years ago. His mummy reveals an old man with a prominent, hooked nose and signs of severe arthritis, a mortal end to a godlike reign. Ramesses the Great left an indelible mark on Egypt. His monuments ensured his name would never be forgotten. He defined what it meant to be a pharaoh, a divine warrior, a master builder, and the father of his nation. His long, stable reign is often seen as the last great peak of Egypt's imperial power before its slow, centuries-long decline. He set a standard that all future pharaohs would try, and fail, to live up to. His shadow loomed large over all who followed. But the golden age of Ramesses could not last forever. A mysterious catastrophe was brewing that would plunge the entire ancient world into darkness. The arrival of the enigmatic sea peoples would test Egypt to its limits and bring mighty empires, including the Hittites, to their knees. To find out what happened next, make sure you're subscribed to World History Tales and click the notification bell for our next chapter.